The world gets its first look at the mother of octuplets and learns why she wanted a big brood. It's the sound of grace under pressure.
Okay, which runway would you like at Teterboro?
We're going to be in the Hudson.
The cockpit recordings as Flight 1549 went down in the Hudson.
In the water.
Roger.
Michael Phelps in hot water.
Not happy with it, and that was stupid.
How this pot-smoking picture got him booted from the pool. What a mess.
So please, people, slow down.
The rain and snow comes down across Southern California. See what's coming next, now on the Fox 11 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, I'm Lauren Sanchez.
And I'm Carlos Amesqua. All that rain is causing a mess tonight, and it could be worse tomorrow.
That's right, roads were flooded, traffic a mess. Hal Eisner was live in Sun Valley with a look at the wicked weather. And Hal is there live. Hal.
You know, I know it's been tough out here because I've been on the roads, but for those of you that have been out here, you've probably seen some of this flooding and some of the accidents. In fact, at times it's rained so hard, it's been hard for us to hear some of the people we've interviewed. Listen to this.
With the heavy rain that we've been having over the last couple hours, the water level rose.
The water level rose so high and so fast in the Sepulveda Basin, Burbank near the 405 had to be closed after cars got stuck in rising water. It was a hard driving rain. Flood channels filled up fast. At times, driving was tough. Lots of accidents. If you were out driving, you know what I mean.
You know, it rains. People don't know how to drive in the rain in Southern California.
What's it been like riding on these roads?
Oh, it's wet. I mean, the puddles of water are like lakes right now.
There's some big major puddles over there by the 5 freeway on-ramp. Oh, man. Pretty big.
On the connector road between the 134 and the 5, a watery mess. The kind of conditions that sometimes requires fast thinking. For instance, you see this, don't slam on your brakes.
Slamming on your brakes will just cause the vehicle to just hydroplane. In other words, it will just lift up off the ground.
We caught up with Officer Harvey Freeman at Osborne and Dronefield. Terrible accident here. Weather-related, says Freeman. A car hydroplanes right here where all the water is and slams into a truck. The truck driver is okay, but from the car, a little girl and father were taken to local hospital seriously hurt. The woman, believed to be the mother, didn't survive. What do you say to people when you come to a scene like this and you see what you see?
People need to really slow down and respect the road for what it is. It's slippery and it's wet. So please, people, slow down. It'll save lives.
That's good advice from Officer Freeman, who says if you end up getting into a big intersection full of water and you lose control, don't try to steer out of it, but if you can, try to steer through it. Reporting live from Sun Valley, Hal Eisner, Fox 11 News.
But Hal, slowing down is the best advice. Thanks very much. Along with the rain comes the snow. This is the scene in Fraser Park where several inches of snow has fallen. Plows are out, clearing the roads. Earlier in Running Springs, a light dusting of snow, but not much sticking to the ground. Not a whole lot, but the bulk of the snow is expected tomorrow, just in time for skiers and snowboarders to hit the slopes. Listen to me sounding like a weatherman. Local ski resorts say they're preparing for a very busy weekend.
You mean sounding. I think you do a fine job, I might say. You know what? It's raining. It's a mess out there. But the big question, how long will all this last? I'm going to give it to not you, Carlos. Mark Thompson. Mark?
So far, it's been true to form, Lauren. It has moved in on time, and now we're going sort of to widely scattered showers. But you can see intense showers, periods of pretty heavy rain will continue through the night tonight, and there's more rain offshore. But a fairly potent line of showers has just moved onshore, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some of that through the night tonight. Now, this is an interesting weather system. While it has produced some pretty heavy rains already, today just 2/10 in the official rain bucket, and so our season-to-date total is still below average by over 2.5 inches. That won't be the case, perhaps we'll get closer by the end of it all, because there'll be more showers overnight. Tomorrow could be a wet morning commute, and then cool and then widely scattered showers. You might even see the sunshine for a time late tomorrow afternoon. But then the next weather system moves in, and that will be characterized by a couple of other things that I'll talk about in weather.
All right, Mark, thanks. The woman who gave birth to octuplets somehow snuck out of the hospital without one television camera catching her. She was whisked off for her first network interview. Ed Laskos is live in Whittier with our first look at 33-year-old Nadia Suleiman. Ed.
And Carlos, our first look at her and our first look at what she's all about. We know that she has struggled with depression for years. We know that 10 years ago she was hurt on the job working at a state mental hospital. As a result of that, she collects more than $165,000 in disability payments. And then the strong urge to have a big family. 10 days after the historic birth of octuplets, and the mom is out of the hospital. This is our very first look at Nadia Suleiman. She struck a deal, all right, with NBC News, and for the exclusive interview where the mom of now 14 kids admits, quote, "That was always a dream of mine, to have a large family, a huge family, and I just longed for certain connections and attachments with another person that I really lacked, I believe, growing up," stop quote. But the 33-year-old, who some have called the perfect mom, admits her childhood was anything but perfect. Quote, "I didn't feel as though, when I was a child, I had much control of my environment. I felt powerless, and that gave me a sense of predictability. Reflecting back on my childhood, I knew it wasn't functional. It was pretty dysfunctional." Stop quote.
How are the babies? We don't know.
At the grandparents' house, some of Nadia's other 6 kids, and with the octuplets, 14 kids in all. They're all born through in vitro. Nadia says she had no other choice. Quote, "I went through about 7 years of trying, and through artificial insemination, and through medication, and all of which was unsuccessful. And then the first IVF procedure from that facility, it was successful. And then I just kept going in." Stop quote. But for at least one neighbor, enough's enough. Check his sign. No more babies.
To me, it's a red flag. Where's it going to end up?
And developing right now, the Medical Board of California out tonight saying it will start its own investigation to see if there's been any violation in the quality of care given, but we still don't know at this point which doctors or medical facilities the state plans to investigate. And we are live in Whittier. Ed Laskios, Fox 11 News.
The story that won't end. Thanks very much. Bong pipes and Frosted Flakes apparently don't mix. Kellogg says it will not renew its sponsorship of Olympic swimming star Michael Phelps. The cereal maker says a recently published photo of Phelps smoking a bong pipe was not, quote, consistent with the image of Kellogg. Soon after learning he lost a sponsor, Phelps was suspended for 3 months by the USA Swimming Federation. Now he's wondering whether he'll compete in the 2012 Olympics.
I am back in the water now, and I am training, whether it's for the summer, whether it's for 2012, whether it's for just to stay in shape. Not sure yet, and going to do a lot of thinking over the next few weeks and months, and then we'll decide.
Kellogg's put Phelps on its cereal boxes after the swimmer won 8 gold medals at the Beijing Olympics.
We have been reporting on a rash of muggings and robberies in the Silver Lake and Echo Park areas. There have been 10 in just the last month, and tonight hundreds of nervous people met with the LAPD. Michael Brownlee talked with them about their concerns, obviously. Michael?
That's right, Lauren. Well, those 10 victims are all men, and 4 of those crimes actually took place just down the street from where we are here in Silver Lake at a very popular gay bar. Still, the LAPD insists so far, and they told this huge crowd tonight that they believe these are crimes of opportunity and nothing more. 10 attacks in 30 days in 2 different cities.
All 10 of the people were males.
The other commonality, this string of attacks committed by 2 different neighborhood gangs.
There's something going on here, and there's a lot of people that are very concerned.
The first 6 attacks in Echo Park, in and around Glendale and Sunset Boulevard, stretched from the end of December to January 8th. The last 4 here in Silver Lake. The first last Wednesday, the most recent on Sunday.
There have been a couple of cases involving guns, and one where the suspects threw somebody on the ground and beat them.
All 10 have been categorized as robberies or attempted robberies by the LAPD. The 4 Silver Lake attacks near the intersection of Hyperion and Rowena were all committed late at night near MJ's, a popular neighborhood gay bar.
I'm very concerned about this. My partner is too.
The LAPD tried to calm those concerns and fears, telling the crowded room that nothing so far indicates that the men were attacked because the suspects thought their victims were gay. Still, the people in this room tonight refuse to rest easy. The numbers, they say, just won't let them. 10 victims, all men, 4 attacked near a gay bar.
If it's a crime that's just, going after gay males because they're an easy target late at night walking in the community, whether it's from a restaurant or from a bar, I think that there's a lot of concern about this.
That's right, and an estimated 250 people at that meeting tonight. Well, detectives say they're following several leads, but they wouldn't reveal to the crowd tonight exactly what those leads are. What they did give them, that these are male Hispanics ranging in ages of 14 to 39 years old. And with that, a reminder to walk in groups and report anything suspicious. Reporting live here in Silver Lake tonight, I'm Michael Brownlee, Fox 11 News.
All right, Michael, thank you. We now have the recorded conversations of those terrifying moments 3 weeks ago when U.S. Airways Flight 1549 headed for a crash in the Hudson River. You'll hear controllers at 2 airports opening up runways for an emergency landing. But the pilot, Captain Sully Sullenberger, says, quote, "We can't do it."
This is Cactus 1539. Hit birds. We've lost thrust on both engines. Returning back towards LaGuardia.
Okay, you need to return to LaGuardia. Turn left heading up 220.
220.
Tower, stop your departures. Got emergency returning. Got it. Cactus 1529. We can get it for you. Do you want to try to land 1013?
We're unable. We may end up in the Hudson.
Cactus 1529. Turn right 280. You can land runway 1 at Teterboro.
We can't do it.
Okay, which runway would you like at Teterboro?
We're going to be in the Hudson.
Yeah, 2 Tango Alpha, he's at 900 feet abeam the North Hudson. He's looks like he's descending into the Hudson River. 2 Tango Alpha, it looks like there's maybe an incident here.
Roger, keep my eyes out, 2 Tango Alpha.
2 Tango Alpha is 12 o'clock and 2.5 miles.
Got him in sight, maintaining visual.
2 Tango Alpha, roger. 2 Tango Alpha, is he still flying?
Still flying.
Thank you.
Flying past him right now. Looks like he's steading lower.
2 Tango Alpha, roger.
Going down. 2 Tango Alpha, course Wilson.
2 Tango Alpha, roger.
Gotcha, he's going down.
Roger.
In the water.
Roger. 2 Tango Alpha, I need you to, I'm going to need you to stay with me if you can so we can keep an eye on where they are.
Roger, I got him in sight, right next to the USS Intrepid Mid-River.
Absolutely remarkable. Investigators have now confirmed that birds flew into both engines. All 155 people aboard the flight survived.
An investigation into tainted peanut butter starts with a sandwich.
I'll even eat my own peanut butter sandwich while I listen to the witnesses, just to show you that I don't have any fear of eating peanut butter.
Ah, yes, but after the good peanut butter came the bad and tough questions about how it ever made it on the market.
Looking to repair your credit? Be careful.
Can you please tell us what happened to the $10,000 you took?
Fox 11 investigates how people trying to fix their finances end up worse off than when they started.
And here are the gotta see stories on myfoxla.com. The new administration gears up to slash the nuclear arsenal, and sea levels rise. Why it may be worse than expected. Don't miss animal news. Turns out today's dogs are descendants of ancient wolves. Check out those stories and more on myfoxla.com.
Fox 11 News is sponsored by your Southern California Jeep dealer.
The only crew member to survive the Chatsworth train crash says he warned a supervisor about the conductor. 25 people, including the engineer, were killed when a Metrolink train smashed head-on into a freight train last September. The engineer, Robert Sanchez, was text messaging at about the time the two trains collided. A conductor who survived the crash says he twice told a supervisor about Sanchez's cell phone use. He says a supervisor told him he'd look into it.
The landlord of one of the women killed in the Christmas massacre is backtracking on a demand for rent. Alicia Ortiz and her son lived in this Upland apartment complex. They were among 9 family members murdered by a gunman dressed as Santa Claus. The apartment landlord claimed Ortiz owed him almost $3,000 because she died and never gave, quote, notice to vacate her apartment. Neighbors say they're stunned.
I think that's sad, and they're after money, and that's very sad. That's sick, pretty much. That family's been through enough, and they should just leave it as it is.
So tonight, the management company for the apartment complex issued this statement, quote, in light of the tragic circumstances, Alliance did not and will not pursue any outstanding balance, contrary to what is being reported, end quote.
An exotic dancer was set on fire outside a Tarzana nightclub. A man and a woman went to the Babes and Beer nightclub on Oxnard when they set the woman on fire. Gigi Graciette joins us live. And Gigi, how badly was this woman burned?
Well, Lauren, tonight that dancer is fighting for her life with burns to over 60% of her body. This is the LAPD scours the city for the 2 people they say did this to her, one of whom may have been a former dancer here.
It is a crime so heinous, even veteran policemen are shocked.
I can't come to terms with what would allow a person to do that to another human being.
A 27-year-old bikini dancer just ending her shift at Babes and Beer in Tarzana was lured outside the club, doused in gasoline, and then set on fire.
Patrons, witnesses inside took drapery, surrounded her in an effort to extinguish those flames, were able to do so.
And police say she knew her attackers. Rianne Thorold Odom, thought to have once worked at the club as a dancer herself, and Nathaniel Petrillo.
They're dangerous. We consider them as a threat to the community.
Both Thorold Odom and Petrillo are facing attempted murder charges, but the dancer, a mother of 2 small children, is in such grave condition she may not make it.
Given the condition of this victim, they may be responsible for ultimately her murder.
And back here live at Babes and Beer, the club formerly known as the Frisky Kitty, it remains closed tonight. Employees telling neighbors that out of respect for what happened, they won't reopen until Saturday. Meanwhile, investigators really need your help. If you have any idea where these suspects may be hiding tonight or any information, please call the LAPD. Reporting live in Tarzana, Gigi Graciette, Fox 11 News.
Gigi, thank you. If you have business with the DMV, don't go tomorrow. They'll be closed. As John Schwatter reports, most state offices will be closed every other Friday until this whole budget mess is cleaned up.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
The state's 92-day budget crisis has finally come to this. Hundreds of state government offices, including DMV service centers, to be closed Friday, and it probably won't stop there.
Well, it's a huge inconvenience, especially for people who work.
And more wait, more time. Like me, I'm coming from my lunch break.
To save money, Governor Schwarzenegger ordered all non-emergency state employees to take unpaid leave or furloughs on the first and third Fridays of each month. All of this especially hard for the jobless looking for state assistance.
The way the economy is going, we don't have time to just, kind of be shooed away. Secondary is what I'm saying.
At the last minute, Sacramento realized it's no time to completely shut down the state's unemployment offices.
We just received notice this morning that we are in fact going to be open.
The so-called EDD offices, which provide job search help and ways to apply for jobless benefits, are already swamped. Under the last-minute reprieve, these offices will stay open, but only with half their normal staffing on Friday.
They can't take it out on these people. This is all these people have, is to come in here and get some unemployment insurance.
Despite the hit to their paychecks, some state workers see a bright side.
We're just happy we still have our jobs.
In Los Angeles, John Schwatter, Fox 11 News.
4 long days of debate, still no deal. The Senate will try again tomorrow to hammer out a compromise on the economic stimulus package, and President Obama, frustrated by the delays, took his message on the road. Liz Habib is here with what he had to say. Liz.
He did, because tomorrow new unemployment numbers will be out and they'll be worse. President Obama is growing impatient, even combative with Republicans. He says it's time to make a move because the economy, already in crisis, faces catastrophe.
I found this national debt doubled, wrapped in a big bow waiting for me as I stepped into the Oval Office.
President Obama was feisty, the crowd fiercely partisan. He spoke in Williamsburg, where Democrats are having their annual retreat. But he sent a message to Republicans: get moving.
We're not moving quickly because we're trying to jam something down people's throats. We're moving quickly because we're told that if we don't move quickly, that the economy is going to keep on getting worse.
While he spoke, senators in Washington debated.
Look at this bill.
Bitterly divided.
Holding up a bill is theatrical. Did you ever do that when George Bush was president?
Senate Republicans want the cost cut dramatically.
The proposal right now that of the Democrats and the administration is frankly not stimulate the economy and doesn't create jobs, and that's a fact.
Behind closed doors, a small bipartisan group is working on cutting down the price tag that's now close to $1 trillion.
Our group of Democrats and Republicans have been working to trim it down and strengthen it up.
But some senators think for a bill this size, that's ridiculous.
We're going to spend $1 trillion, and 16 people are behind closed doors trying to figure out how to do it by tonight. That's crazy.
Senators will continue debate tomorrow. President Obama knows he's losing the American people on this one, too. So he's going to take his case for the stimulus package to the public in a nationally televised news conference Monday at 5 p.m.
All right, Liz, thanks. A Pentagon judge has shut down the last military trial at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, another step toward closing the facility. President Obama has ordered Guantanamo to close within a year. 245 terror suspects are being held there. One of them, Abdul Rahim al-Nashiri, was charged with planning al-Qaeda's attack on the USS Cole back in 2000. Now, those charges have been dropped, but the U.S. can still try Nashiri in a civil court.
The Senate has put off a vote to confirm Hilda Solis for Labor Secretary. The reason? Taxes again. Solis, the Congresswoman from East LA, doesn't owe any taxes, but LA County and the state of California have more than a dozen liens on an auto repair business owned by Solis's husband, Sam Syed. Yesterday, Syed paid most of the money, but some senators requested more time to investigate. And Supreme Court Justice Ruth Ginsburg is recovering from surgery for pancreatic cancer. The small tumor showed up in a routine checkup. Pancreatic cancer has a low survival rate, but because Ginsburg's tumor was detected early, doctors say that should improve her chances. Ginsburg, who is 75, survived a previous bout with colon cancer. She is the only woman and perhaps the most liberal justice on the Supreme Court.
The first Senate hearings were held on the peanut butter-related salmonella outbreak that's killed at least 8 people and sickened hundreds.
I'll even eat my own peanut butter sandwich while I listen to the witnesses, just to show you that I don't have any fear of eating peanut butter.
Members of the Senate Agricultural Committee vowed to press for stronger food safety laws, but also reacted angrily to news that there are several loopholes in the nation's food safety system. These loopholes allow companies like the Georgia-based Peanut Butter Corporation of America to bypass the FDA and sell products they know are contaminated.
I'd like to see some people go to jail. You know, I don't really care what kind of a fine is put on a company that ignored this.
Senators are also asking for a criminal investigation to determine if the company broke any laws. They also want an overhaul of the FDA. The Peanut Corporation has denied any wrongdoing, saying the plant received regular inspections and has voluntarily recalled all products.
Remember the LAPD's battering ram? The department now has a new heavy metal toy. This one won't be as controversial. It's a MedCat, or armored ambulance, and it's designed to save lives. Bill Schuman kicks the tires and checks under the hood.
The LAPD prides itself on being cutting edge. This latest project, a first-of-its-kind armored ambulance designed for terror or SWAT response by both police and fire.
We have to get the paramedics there to treat them and get the patient out in as safe a manner as possible.
LAPD's armored arsenal is evolving, as are its tactics to deal with terrorism.
And the city is choosing to publicize all this to make the point that while other departments are cutting their budgets, the police and fire are not. In fact, the LAPD's Counterterrorism Bureau, begun after 9/11, is expanding. They now have 300 members, and it's run by Deputy Chief Michael Downing.
I think Al-Qaeda is an enemy, and those that are inspired by Al-Qaeda's vision and mission is probably the greatest threat to us right now.
The recent Mumbai attacks, multiple locations, a city literally held hostage, have resulted in more planning by the LAPD for that type of scenario.
We're looking to improve our response capabilities, not just from the police department and the fire department, but from all of our city departments, our county partners, and our state partners as well.
Still, police say they don't want to just be first responders. They'd like to be first preventers. Phil Schuman, Fox 11 News.
$9,000, 3 hours of surgery, and 2 surgeons, all to save a possum.
They're actually very sweet animals, and they're just part of the nature.
Think opossums aren't worth rescuing? Why, this veterinarian doctor completely disagrees.
Why do you laugh, I say? Flying just got a little more expensive on one airline. Next time you want to take a cozy little mid-flight nap, well, you're going to have to pay for it. We're going to explain in a moment.
Fox 11 News is sponsored by your Southern California Dodge dealers. Dodge, grab life.
A rather unhappy landing for a Southwest plane in Las Vegas. A few minutes before touching down, passengers in the back smelled something odd, and their eyes began to itch. The odor was strong enough to deploy the oxygen mask. The airline now says the problem was caused by burning wires. Everybody got off the plane safely. About 10 people were treated for eye irritation. Need a pillow to relax on your next flight? If it's U.S. Airways, expect to pay extra. The airline says in 2 weeks it will start charging $7 for a pillow and a blanket on all its domestic flights. They aren't the first. JetBlue already does this. Nearly all the airlines have started charging extra fees since they were hit by high oil prices and then the recession.
You just got to bring your own nowadays. If your credit has taken a hit, be careful about all those offers to fix your credit score. Gina Silva tells us about a couple that trusted one of those outfits, but all they got was deeper in debt.
The ads are all over the internet, in the paper, on the streets. Improve your credit score, get a better loan, the house of your dreams, even a better job.
There's a lot of them.
Connie Miller and her husband Jerry have a lot of debt, so they wanted to refinance their home to use equity to pay their bills. But with their low credit score, they couldn't get approval. So they turned to this man, Mark Richter, a self-proclaimed credit repair specialist.
He acted really like he knew what he was doing. Okay,
Connie says Richter told her he worked closely with a company that would repair her credit and begin paying off her bills. But first, she needed to write him a check for more than $10,000. Connie did. But when months went by and nothing changed, she called Richter to get her money back. His response?
He says, I hate to tell you this, but the company's gone bankrupt. They shut the doors and I can't get anybody's money out of them.
Connie immediately filed a police report, and when investigators questioned Richter, they say he confessed, telling them he'd spent the money on personal use. They charged him with embezzlement.
He used the money, cashed it, and used it to fix his house.
When Fox 11 News caught up with Richter, he clearly wanted nothing to do with us. Mark, we'd like to get your side of the story. Can you please tell us what happened to the $10,000 you took?
I think people should be aware of the fact that they shouldn't pay large amounts of money for this kind of service.
Gary Aldman with the Better Business Bureau says they've received many complaints on credit repair agencies. He says the bad economy has scamsters working overtime, but there are legitimate credit repair companies.
Most of these, at least in the state of California, have to be registered as a credit services organization, and they have to maintain a bond, and they can't charge you up front for the fees.
At his arraignment, Mark Richter explained to the judge that he cannot pay Connie Miller back her money because he's fallen on hard times.
I'm actually filing for bankruptcy. I'm being sued by countless others.
But the judge didn't buy it. He had Richter taken into custody until he posted a $20,000 bond, which Richter did immediately, even though he had just claimed he was broke.
I don't understand if he can get bail by any means. Why can't he pay me?
Connie and her husband are still struggling with their debts, and now they're facing foreclosure. Richter is due back in court next month, and the Millers hope he's convicted and ordered to pay restitution. Gina Silva, Fox 11 News.
A robbery suspect in Colorado used a weapon that's completely out of this world.
Folks, prisoners have been coordinates. You should take the Vulcan too.
No, this isn't the actual robbery. There are no Vulcans in Colorado, but there's at least one Klingon wannabe. Get this, a man used a Klingon sword from the old Star Trek series to rob 2 7-Elevens.
So the battle is about this long, and it's a curved blade. Just the fact that someone would rob a store with a weapon that's all about honor, because the Klingons are all about honor, so it's like the honorable people are robbing 7-Eleven.
At first, I had to laugh.
Everyone's giggling, but it actually worked. One clerk thought the robbery was a joke, but he didn't want to take any chances, so he handed over the money. Police hope this surveillance picture will help them catch the Klingon user.
Oh, boy. An all-out effort has paid off to save the life of an opossum. That's the proper way to say possum. The critter had been shot for no apparent reason. While it's no one's pet, some caring people rushed to his aid. Christina Gonzalez is live in Woodland Hills to tell us why this possum lives. Hi, Christina.
Well, he wasn't playing dead. He was almost dead. They had shot him in the head, and he would be dead if this group of people hadn't come forward to keep him alive. How lucky is this animal?
Very lucky, very lucky.
The young possum was found with a 9mm slug in his head. He was taken to Brenda Ververigas at Valley Wildlife Center. Hey, you. She has a close relationship with Double R Veterinary in Calabasas. It would be nice to say that this is the only time you end up with an animal with a gunshot.
We had well over 100 gunshots last year, and fortunate for the animals, these 2 doctors are willing to do surgery. and give them a second chance at life.
We're going to go ahead and give him some buprenorphine.
For these vets, it is a labor of love. They work with exotics quite a bit and think this little guy will be just fine.
And he's very, very sweet, very sweet. He goes to everybody, and that was his downfall, because he go up to the wrong person and boom. I mean, that's very sad. Somebody put a gun on us. It's very sad.
It's more than sad. Actually, he's not going to be up for adoption, in case you want to find out. People can't own them legally, but there's going to be a lot of work going into rehabilitating him. If you want to know how to help him or many of the other animals that Valley Wildlife Care Center helps out, owls, all kinds of wildlife, you can find their information on our website at myfoxla.com. Live in Woodland Hills, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
And another animal story. A golden retriever saved a Dallas couple from a gunman. But this isn't your average retriever. She's very special. Just ask Steve and Judy Coleman. They were held at gunpoint for 45 minutes while robbers ransacked their house. Things could have escalated had their neighbor's gusty little dog not chased them away on all 3 legs. Turns out the golden retriever was a stray rescued from the side of the road just 5 weeks ago. She had been shot and her leg was amputated.
Calamity Jane came outside, then she was agitated. And so then they were yelling, look, there's people outside, let's go. And there was Calamity Jane coming after them.
Oh, the dog was pregnant when she was rescued, and she had just given birth to 7 puppies. The Colemans think it was her motherly instinct that caused her to act so bravely.
And nothing will love you more than a dog, that's for sure. The heavy rain tonight has brought down part of a hillside in Sierra Madre. Neighbors in the North Canyon area are reporting up to 10 inches of mud near their homes. The city has been under yellow alert for mudslides all day. That includes possible evacuations.
I heard it coming down, but it's come down before, and we didn't quite have this reaction. But so I came out and noticed that the trucks were coming by, and all of a sudden I saw all this mud, and here you go.
All right, so far no one has had to leave their homes, but isolated debris and mud flow will remain a possibility for a while. And it's a perfect day, you know, because it's raining hard. It's a perfect day to celebrate International Weatherman's Day. For that, we are bringing you a gift, Mark.
Thank you.
The International Weather Day.
Just
a little dusty, but
you know, extremely dusty.
This is from us, you know, from the bottom of our corazon.
I can see you really gone out of your way, and I appreciate that very, very much.
Hey, you know what? It's a thought that counts, all right? Don't be so...
and not a lot of thought went into this, so thank you. But I appreciate it. I nonetheless want to... we have so much to talk about. They sent me these cookies with our logo on them, and I deliberately told the producer, I said, we don't have time to do it. I got to get right into the weather because I got so much. And then you bring out the piñata. Thank you.
I didn't get the memo.
By the way,
all right.
He's the anchor.
This is, I know, Carlos is the ranking officer on deck. He can do what he wants. But thank you anyway for mentioning it. I am a busy weather dude today. This was the storm that we've talked about for several days now, right on schedule. And this is what happens when you get a lot of water in a short time. The LA River gets surging, and it was doing its job today with much of that runoff, and there'll be more of it. This is the latest Doppler return, widely scattered, but still some healthy returns moving into Southern California tonight. I want you to see the makeup, the consistency of this weather system, and you'll get a feel for what we're looking for, because this weather system, the core of it, is just moving onshore, and with it, colder air. But through the night tonight, showers and occasionally heavy downpours will accompany the system. The upstream system is where the real cold air is, and this is where I think the intense rain associated with thunder shower activity could develop. So that I want to really underscore tonight. That while this one was pretty healthy in size, I think the next one could really produce more in the way of a punch and heavier snow. Snow down about 4,000 feet. So our forecast quickly is for tonight to see some showers and possible thunderstorms that will extend through Saturday evening. Breezy, cool conditions. Winter weather advisories are posted. As I say, snow level will drop down to about 4,000 feet by tomorrow night. So if you're going to the Grapevine between now and then, you stand a better chance. I think tomorrow night could be really quite dicey. Showers and cold. Look at the cold air move in, and it will produce, yes, hail, heavy rain, and maybe even some funnel clouds if we get those thunderstorms really going. And then finally, these showers continue through the day on Saturday, Sunday, probably the drier day of the weekend. And then late Sunday or early Monday, our next weather system moves through. Right now, it doesn't look to be quite as potent as these last ones. Thompson's Tales, Thursday night. I love it when we have kitty cats on, only because they're sort of the forgotten ones. We always have doggies most of the time. They don't like to be, oh, honey, what is it?
I'm going to give you Dana. That's Dana.
Oh.
That's Dana. This is Desi. They were brought in by probably abandoned on the street by public intake.
My goodness. Here you are, sweetheart.
They're about 4 months old.
Yeah. And they are, they're beautiful.
Yes.
And they are like all kittens.
You're
they're frisky,
typical frisky
and loving.
high energy and
thank
very
you so
nice.
much. We've got to say
Thank you.
goodnight, but thank you so much for bringing in kitty cats.
Thank
Good
you,
luck,
Mark.
honey. All right. That's it for tonight.
Happy Weatherman's Day.
So cute.
They are cute when they're little. A small world just got bigger. Oh, now that's all I'm going to hear is that song. The changes you'll see the next time you hop on the Small World ride.
Jobs are down, but stocks are up. The Dow gaining 106 points. The Nasdaq and S&P also rising. 626,000 people filing for first-time unemployment benefits last week, the most we've seen since 1982. But the workforce is actually much larger now. The January job numbers come out tomorrow. To retail sales, call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, Walmart. Sales at existing stores jumping there last month. The bad, department stores. Many reporting weak numbers in January. And the ugly? Well, the Gap sales dropping by nearly a quarter. And after the bell, News Corp, the parent company of Fox, reporting an adjusted operating income of $818 million on revenues of nearly $8 billion. That is down sharply from last year. But cable networks were a bright spot with a double-digit gain there. But people are charging up a storm. MasterCard stock jumping 14%. Quarterly profits beating estimates as more people are using cards. That's business. I'm Neil Cavuto.
Bad mirrors, no dressing rooms, a recession. Who cares? It's opening day at the Barney's warehouse sale. Bargain hunters flock to Santa Monica's Barker Hangar to get their hands on all those designer duds. Many shoppers stripping down to their skivvies right in front of everyone to try things on for size. The 12-day sale continues through February 16th. I know I was not there today, but I will be there soon.
Yeah, some you don't mind, some you really wish they wouldn't.
Rick, how's sports? Speaking of,
Thank you, I think.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You know, Lakers and Celtics, what a beauty of a basketball rivalry. The last time the Lakers played in Boston, they lost by 39 points. That was in Game 6 of the NBA Finals, which embarrassingly put an end to the Lakers' season. Lakers, though, won back on Christmas Day, you may remember, here in L.A. Tonight in Beantown, things got physical. Kobe with a finger in the face of Rajon Rondo. A bit later, Lamar Odom and Kevin Garnett had to be separated. A great finish. A minute and a half left in regulation. Lakers down by 2. Kobe for 3. Go in the hole. Lakers lead. Now just seconds left. They're tied. Kobe has it. This for the win. No good. They go to overtime tied at 101. In the extra period, Lamar Odom will work his way inside and make a nice little hook. Lakers up by 2. 3 seconds left. Lakers up by 1 now. Boston with a chance to win it. Ray Allen will take the last shot. He throws it up, and the Lakers win 110-109. They sweep the season series. The Philadelphia 76ers now know what the Clippers feel like. Elton Brand will undergo surgery on his ailing shoulder and will miss the rest of the season. Brand was injured on that play back in December when he landed on his shoulder. He came back for about 6 games, but was never the same. Brand only played 9 games for the Clippers last season because of an injury. He signed a 5-year, $80 million deal with Philadelphia in the offseason. Not a whole lot to report from Manny Wood. In fact, Dodgers general manager Ned Colletti reportedly sent an email out stating that he did not have any conversations with Manny Ramirez's agent today. The last time they talked was yesterday, with the two sides restating their positions. Ramirez asking at least for a 4-year deal, and the Dodgers looking for something shorter. All right, there's baseball's all-time home run leader, Barry Bonds, back in a San Francisco courtroom today, where he pleaded not guilty to charges he lied to a grand jury about taking steroids. The judge overseeing the case said some drug tests and other key parts of the government's case against Bonds may be too weak for trial. That includes 3 positive drug tests and some documents seized from the home of his personal trainer. The case expected to go to trial next month. The New England Patriots have placed their franchise tag on former USC quarterback Matt Castle. Here's what that means. He remains a free agent, but the Patriots have the right to match any offer made by another team, or they can allow him to sign with a team in exchange for 2 first-round draft picks. If and when Castle signs the 1-year tag, the Chatsworth High School grad will get a raise from $500,000 to $14.65 million. When you add Castle's salary to that of Tom Brady's, the Patriots could be paying their quarterbacks roughly $30 million in 2009.
Rick's Replay.
Some wild moments in tonight's Florida-New York Islanders game. Watch the spot and Florida's Stephen Weiss. Look at that. He checks Franz Nielsen over the boards and into the Florida bench. Oh, that was a mean hit. Nielsen head over heels into the bench. Then check out the goal there by Richard Zednik.
Nice.
Take another look. Zednik will jump over the defender.
Oh.
He shoots, he scores. The
Never seen
Panthers
that.
beat the Islanders 3-2.
Never seen that.
That's why those guys are such amazing athletes.
They're incredible
Doing what
athletes.
football players are doing, but on ice, basically.
You know, today's Sportscaster International.
Is it?
Stop
Who knew?
it. You know what he needs? He needs a
By the way,
cough drop. You're going to
I'm
lose your
losing my
voice.
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Oh, sorry,
Good
we're
job.
getting yelled
Yeah.
at.
You're welcome.
Hey, ever wonder where all your hair goes after you get it cut? Well, these customers know exactly where it's going and how it's helping others.
Oh my goodness. Oh, look, there it is.
Yeah, that's a big change, but hundreds of UCLA students learning what it's like to have shorter hair. Students donated their hair to make wigs for sick children who lost their hair. One student says when you look in the mirror, it's a constant reminder of what you did for someone else.
Cool. Disneyland's popular ride, It's a Small World, will look a little different the next time you climb aboard. Some familiar characters have joined the dancing dolls. Here's our own dancing dolls, Jane Yamamoto. It's a small world all over again. Jane?
Dolls dressed in costumes, singing and dancing, representing more than 100 nations. It's a Small World has seen some big changes over the past year. The dolls now have new outfits, but still original patterns, and the soundtrack, synonymous with the ride, has a new twist.
If you listen really, really carefully, you can hear a very subtle melody of Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
They've added theme songs from the movies these dolls represent.
It was awesome.
The biggest change? A fleet of new boats. The boat ride began 45 years ago to promote world peace. The costume dolls representing the spirit of international unity. But now new faces fill the attraction. From Peter Pan to Alice in Wonderland, nearly 30 new dolls from Disney movies in the countries where their stories take place.
So here we have Disney's version of Mulan in the China section.
Fans of the iconic ride who are season pass holders got a sneak peek and gave us their take on the new storytelling magic.
I thought it was like a really good idea because it helped like maybe the younger child understand more like where everybody comes from.
Yeah, like the Three Caballeros were in there. That was cool.
This next room we're going to visit we like to call the Spirit of America. It's a brand new scene. You'll see some toys from Toy Story 2. You'll see Woody, Jessie, and Bullseye, their horse.
And if you want to experience the happiest cruise that ever sailed the world, it officially opens to the public tomorrow. Jane Yamamoto, Fox 11 News.
Think roller scaries are scary? Try this. I think you meant roller coasters are scary.
I think so. I was trying to. What's scary?
Now watch this. A magician attempts to escape a roller coaster. The ending that no one expected.
Like roller coaster rides or scary scaries, as Carlos calls them. You've never been on one like this. Avi Fryer is a magician. See, you got me going in Florida. He was blindfolded, tied up in a straitjacket, and had his legs shackled to the floor of the car. Away went the roller coaster. But after 2 loops, the coaster comes back. And where's Avi? Oh, there he is, yeah. Huh. Avi successfully makes a great escape from a moving roller coaster. You know what?
Scary.
It's a scary sometimes.
Right here,
Scary. We just read it. Hey, tomorrow on Good Day LA, Liam Neeson.
That's tomorrow morning following the Fox 11 Morning News. Right now, we're going to drive over to Channel 13. Join us, will you?
Beep, beep.